South Africa hospital worker arrested with human placenta. A hospital cleaner in South Africa's province has been arrested after being caught with a bag containing human placentas, police have confirmed. The suspect, identified as 39-year-old Rose Mnisi, was detained during a routine patrol in the town of Lydenburg after a tip-off. Authorities said she was hitchhiking to Nelspruit when officers stopped her and discovered body tissues. According to the police, Nissen admitted she worked as a cleaner in the maternity ward of the local hospital. Investigators allege that she has been seeking buyers for placentas before her arrest. The seized body part has been sent for forensic analysis. She appeared in court on Thursday, charged with illegal possession of human tissue, and is due back in court next month for a bail hearing. Now, police added that further charges could be filed as investigation continues. While authorities did not specify what the placentas were intended for, some people believe the tissue has medicinal or ritual value, claims that lack scientific backing. And in South Africa, however, several criminal cases has been linked to the use of human parts in traditional practices. Early this month, a traditional healer was arraigned in Tswana after being found with human remains tied to the 2023 killings of young women. Going through this news is, I'll try not to tear. Going through this news is really heartbreaking. I don't know why we're having sad stories, but then this is what is on the news. This is what is happening right now in South Africa, as a cleaner would get placentas of people in the maternity ward, so certainly people or women who have just conceived their babies. And there are times we always ask, or looking at Africa or Nigeria, let me come down to Nigeria. Most times when a woman goes in the labor room after having your baby or after delivering the child, they always ask for their placenta.
Yeah.
I know most women always ask. There are times even when you don't ask, they would package it. They would even request for either a bag or something to package the placenta and give to the mother or someone in charge that probably escorted the woman to the labor room. So what now happens? I'm going to throw these questions to both the women there in South Africa, in that hospital, and I'll also question the lady. Why should they not request for their placenta after giving birth to their children? Because there is this belief that placentas are used for traditional practices, and according to the news, also they make use of it for medicinal value. So why shouldn't they always ask for their placenta after giving birth to your child? You request for your placenta and you would use it to do whatever you want to use it for, but keeping it down there or back in the hospital, I feel everyone should know that after this, have your placenta. The way you would take your child, you wouldn't leave your child in the hospital after delivering your child. The same way you shouldn't leave your placenta in the hospital after having your baby. But then the news also said they really do not know the intention of this lady. Why haven't they investigated thoroughly to know what's the intention? Because if the intention of a thing is not known, it means that anyone can also, the risks of it will not also be known. So if they can really investigate to know what her intention was, then they can be able to curb it and then create more awareness to people, to South Africans, to women there, that this is, okay, the intention of this lady that has been arrested, but then this is why you need to know that after having your baby, you have your placenta with you.
I don't know if this is sad or funny, but a very interesting story. Because just like you've pointed out, why would you give birth to your child and not go home with a placenta? Because
who are you leaving
that's
it for?
the third stage of labor. That's what happens when your labor is complete. You get your placenta. But then I know that sometimes hospitals can, withhold the placentas. That's if there is risk of infection and they want to carry out some test, pathological test. So if that wasn't the case, because for her to be arrested, it wasn't one placenta, it wasn't
Exactly.
10.
You said in a bag
Yeah, so if
contains
it
a
wasn't
lot.
one, that means something is definitely going on. And that did not happen without the help of even the healthcare providers in that facility. She's a cleaner, for God's sake, which means she has access to waste product, right? But placentas are not regular ways that you just, dispose of. So she has to be working. I hope she doesn't get pinned down for the crime of every other person.
Exactly.
Of course, she's a culprit, but I do not think she worked alone. There has to be other people who would. She has no business in the labor ward. She's a cleaner. She probably just goes there to clean, and she most likely is not the only cleaner. So how is it that the placenta gets to her all the time? So I'm hoping that thorough investigation is carried out, and everybody who is involved in the placenta trafficking, because this is what it has become, gets to face a consequence. But this calls to parents to be very alert. I know that sometimes after childbirth we can be tired and unconscious and all of that. That is why you have to carry a husband, a loved one, a friend, a trusted person along, so that everything that pertains to your child, you can always have it. I'm not sure anybody would want to leave, like you mentioned, their children, because your placenta is like your child as well. It's something you want to know where it is buried. Some people bury it, some people, dispose it. But whatever it is, let it be at your own discretion. You should decide what you want to do with it. The hospital shouldn't. I know hospitals have policies, but then again, I mentioned that when there is a risk of infection and they need to run
They would
tests,
always
even then they would
let the
you know.
mother know, like, okay, this is why we are withholding your placenta. This is what we want to do. And by the time they are done,
You would see
probably
the
they would,
result.
yes, you'll see the
So
results.
it's not
But then
something that...
just withholding a mother's placenta, I'm like, why? What do you want to use it for?
And she was hitchhiking. That means she's not made a lot of money to have been able to travel. Poor woman. Let's hope that justice is served at the end of the day.